live via Facebook streaming, via YouTube streaming, and via Skype. Each one of you is welcome to this live streaming. Sutras of Vigyan Bhairav Tantra. How to move from word to sound. The sutra emphasizes moving from word to sound because sound is primordial. It is at the core of everything. So first, visualize. Use eyes inwards and see the letters. Inwards eyes and see the letters. Letters are more related to the ears than with the eyes because they are sound. We are reading and we go on reading and we do not read aloud. If we read aloud, the words can become sound. But because we read, we use the eyes, so it does not happen. When you say a letter A, for instance, the English language is more conversant with everyone. What is the feeling? Is there any feeling when you say a word, a letter A? You may not have been aware of it. What is the feeling inside you when the letter A is uttered? Whenever you use any sound, what type of feeling comes into existence? We are so feelingless that we have completely forgotten. When you see a sound, what happens inside? You go on using it and the sound is forgotten. You go on seeing it. If I say a letter A, you will see it first in your mind. A will become visible to you. Its image. You will visualize it. When I say A, do not visualize it. Just hear the sound A and then go and find out what happens in the center of your feeling when you hear this sound. Does nothing happen? Shiva says move from letters to sound. Uncover sound through the letters. Uncover sounds and then through the sound also uncover the feeling. First you see the letter. In the moment I recite, I speak a letter A, you visualize it deep within. Hidden behind the image of the letter is the sound. You have forgotten about it. Uncover the sound, and through the sound, a feeling comes in. The moment you see the image of the person that you like, you are thrown into that the energy field of that person. You visualize him, you start, many things begin to happen. You hear the words, you hear the sound, you feel the touch, and so on and so forth. So uncover sound, and then through the sounds, uncover the feelings. Be aware how you feel. The moment you hear a particular name, image comes in front of you, feelings begin to arise. It is said that man has now become very insensitive. He is most insensitive animal on this earth. There was a German poet, and he relates one incident of his childhood. His father was a horse lover. He had so many horses at home, a big stable. But he would not allow this child to go to the stable. He was afraid. The child was small. But when the father was not there, the child would sometimes steal into the stable where he had a friend, a horse. Whenever the child will go in, the horse will make some sounds. The poet has written, then I also started making sounds with the horse because there was no possibility of language. You would have observed when mother is rearing a child makes all kind of noise. The mother copies the sound. The child says lo 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 la la. Mother also says something. So this child started making the sounds as there was no possibility of language. Then in communication with that horse for the first time, I became aware of the sounds, their beauty and their feelings. This is what the German poet says. You cannot be aware with a man because he is dead. A horse is more alive and he knows no language. He has pure sounds. He is filled with his heart, not with the mind. So the poet remembers. For the first time, I became aware of the beauty of the sounds and their meanings. This was not the meaning of the words and thoughts, because the horse was not thinking, there were no thoughts and no words. But a meaning was filled with a feeling. If someone else was there, the horse would not make those sounds. The horse will not make that sounds. So the child could understand that the horse meant, do not come in. Someone is here and your father will be angry. If someone else was there, the horse will make not those sounds, instead different sounds. The child could understand that what the horse meant. Do not come in, someone else is here and your father will be angry. When there was no one, the horse will make this sound, that meaning that there is no one. So the poet remembers it was a conspiracy and he helped me. The horse helped me very much. The horse helped me very much. And when I would go and love that horse, he would move his head in a particular way, particular direction when he liked it. When he did not like it, he would not move his head in that way. When he liked it, then it was a certain thing, he would express it in a different way. When he was not in the mood, then he would not move in that particular way. And this poet says this continued for years. I would go and love that horse, and that love was so deep, I never felt any affinity with anyone else so deeply. Then one day when I was stroking his neck and he was moving and enjoying it ecstatically. Suddenly, for the first time, I became aware of my hand that was stroking, and the horse stopped. Now I would not move. Now he would not move his neck. And that poet says, for years I tried and tried, but there was no response. The horse would not reply. Only later on did I become aware that because I became aware of my hand and myself, the ego came in that I was patting the dog, stroking the horse, and he was enjoying. And because of that ego, the communication broke. I could not recapture again that communication with the horse. What happened? That was a feeling communication between that child who later on became a German poet and the horse. The moment ego comes in, words come, language comes, thought comes, then the layer is changed completely. Now you are above the sound, then you were below the sound. Those sounds are feeling, and horse could understand the feelings. Now he could not understand because the words have come in. So the communication broke. The poet tried and tried, but no effort is successful, because even if you are making an effort, it is an effort of the ego. He tried to forget his hand, but he could not forget. How could you forget? It is impossible. And the more you try to forget it, the more you remember it. So you cannot forget anything when there is an effort. You can forget something only when there is no effort. Effort will simply emphasize the memory more. When you are emphasizing, you are making an effort, you are going more and more into the memory. The poet says, I became fixed with my hand. I could not move that horse. I would go up to my hand, and then there was no movement. The energy would not move into that horse, and he became aware of this. How did the horse become aware? If I suddenly start speaking some other language, then the communication is always broken. I am talking to you, you can understand English. The moment I use Sanskrit language, you will not understand, and the communication is broken. Then you will not be able to understand me. And if this language were not known to you, you would suddenly stop, because now the language is unknown to you. You are enjoying the jokes that I am giving you in English language. You understand the language very well. You understand the joke and you will begin to laugh. The moment I change language from English to Hindi and give you a joke in Hindi, there will not be any joy or any expression on your face. So this is what happened. The horse only knew the feelings. The moment a thought came in that I am stroking, my hand is stroking, and the communication broke. The child, every child lives with a feeling. First comes the sound, and those sounds are filled with feelings. Then comes the word. Words are followed by thought, then systems, religions, and philosophy. Then one goes farther and farther away from the center of feeling. So the sutra emphasizes the reverse process. The sutra says, come back, come down, go to the state of feeling. Feeling is not your mind. That is why you are afraid of the feeling. You are not afraid of reasoning. You are always afraid of the feeling when it arises, because feeling can lead you to a state of chaos. You will not be able to control it. With reason, the control is possible, and it is with the head. You are the head. Below the head, you lose the head. You cannot control. You cannot manipulate. Feelings are just below the mind. It is a link between you and the mind. Shiva says, then leaving them aside, be free. Then leave the feelings. And remember, only when you come to the deepest core of the feeling, you can leave them. You cannot leave them just now because you have not reached to that center. You are engrossed in your thinking, in your thought process, in the words, in philosophies, in logic and everything. You are not at the deepest layer of the feeling, so how can you leave them? First, you have to leave the philosophies that you are. Philosophies means Hinduism, Christianity, Mohammedanism, Buddhism, all these isms. Then you have to leave thoughts. First, philosophy is the last. So you leave philosophy, then you leave the thoughts, and below the thoughts are words. You have to leave the words, and below the words are letters. You have to leave the letters, and then comes the sound. So you have to leave the sound to go to this realm of feeling, and only then you have to, when you reach the realm of feeling, then you can leave it, because you can leave only that which is there. How can you leave something which is not there? You do not have a television and you want to leave it. How can you? You can leave that step upon which you are standing, but you cannot leave a step which you are not standing on. You are climbing the ladder on steps, a staircase. You are standing on a step. On a step, you can leave that because you are standing on that. How can you leave the step of the staircase where you are not standing? You are standing at the step of philosophy, the farthest one. The step below is the thought. The step below is word. The step below is the letter. A step below is, so if we make a ladder, a staircase, feelings, first step, a staircase, second, sound, third, letter, fourth, word, fifth, thought, sixth, philosophy. You are standing at the sixth layer of the staircase, sixth step of the staircase, which is philosophy. You have to come down below that step, one by one. You are standing on the ladder, on top of the ladder, which is philosophy. you have to start descending until you reach to the ground. And which is the ground? The feeling. And when you reach the ground where the ladder is standing, only then you can move from there. You are standing on the 5th layer step of the ladder, and you want to move from there and go to another room. Can it be possible? No. It can only be possible when you start descending the ladder, reach to the ground, you leave the staircase, leave the ladder, and move to other place. You are standing at the step of philosophy, the farthest one. That is why I insist so much that unless you leave religion, you cannot be religious. You pretend that you are religious, but you are not. You can be religious only when you leave all the philosophies. The Hinduism, the Christianity, the Islam, all those things. The sutra, this technique can be done very easily. I will leave this up to here until we meet again. Until we meet again, take care and do have a pleasant day.